Welcome. In this segment, we'll be discussing how to stay up to date with all the changes at Moon Library. The Moon Library staff has created a fabulous guide online called the Moon Library Changes at Moon Libguide. So to keep up to date with the changes at Moon Library, you'll want to visit this Changes at Moon Libguide website, which is libguides.esf.edu/changesatmoon. This guide will walk you through all kinds of information about what is going on at Moon Library, what is the library doing, how can I stay informed of changes, frequently asked questions, remote access instructions, visual aids to show you how remote access works, and lots of links to open access resources. Let's go ahead and take a look at the LibGuide called Changes at Moon. Again, the staff set this up to keep students, faculty, and staff at SUNY-ESF up to date on all the changes going on at Moon Library SUNY-ESF. So you'll see that there's tabs at the top that will allow you to navigate through this online guide. And the first tab is called What is Going On? And that tab reviews changes that have been occurring, changes to our subscriptions, databases, e-journals, and this gives you the information about when the changes occurred, and it also gives you links to library liaisons to academic departments. So for example, if you're a faculty member and you have some specific questions, you'll see that there's a link to the library liaisons for all the academic departments. So that's the What is Going On tab. Moving on, there's the What is the Library Doing tab. And that tab is a really nice tab because it talks about our action plan. And it talks about steps that we're taking. And it also gives a really nice timeline. And we can zoom in on that. So if you're doing your research and you're wondering, well, when is the system going to change? What's going on during this time frame when I'm going to be doing some heavy research from on or off campus? If you're interested in the actual dates of events occurring, you can take a look at the LibGuide and you can look at the timeline. This timeline is constantly being updated with new dates and new information about changes to the Moon Library system, and also if there's going to be any changes to how our catalog looks or our database lists, and also if anything's changing with remote access. So again, this is a nice timeline of, again, under the tab What is the library doing? How can I stay informed is the next tab. And under this tab it talks about the communication that we're using. And so you can keep up to date with changes by visiting this LibGuide, but we also have a Twitter account and we also have a Facebook page. So we're making every effort to post information and reach our students and our faculty and our staff. There's also a FAQ, Frequently Asked Questions tab. And so these are popular questions that have been asked by faculty, staff, and students. We post the questions and the answers. And if possible, if there's a link associated with the answer, we have the hot link. So for example, the first question here is, how will I get to resources from off campus? And it talks about the computing network services and how they've implemented something called VMware, and there's a link to the remote access right there. So again, maybe you have a question. You can check under the Frequently Asked Question link to see if your question has already been asked and our answer. And again, if there's some kind of link associated with the answer, we'll link right to that for you. Let's go back to our LibGuide and look at the next tab. Very important, the next tab is called Remote Access Instructions. This screen will walk you through, let me zoom in there, will walk you through the steps for setting up your remote access. And what we've done is we've broken it out for you. So depending on what kind of tool you're using, what kind of electronic equipment you're using, if you're using a PC or a Mac or an iPad, we have specific instructions for those. So right up at the top it says connect with a PC, and if you scroll down, there's instructions for Macs, and there's also instructions for using an iPad. Now you can view these instructions right here, or there's the option to actually look at these in PDF format. So there's downloadable instructions. Again, we're trying to cover the different machines that people have, PCs, Macs, and iPads. If you need any help along the way, you can access the Need Help section, and there's links to emails to our Computing Network Services site. They will be able to help you with setting up your remote access. You can also contact Moon Library, because along the way, if you're a student, you'll need to contact us to get your username and password. So let's go back to our Libguide. Again, this is an overview of what the Libguide screen looks like. Again, you're navigating using the tabs at the top. We were just looking at the instructions for remote access. You can go to the link called See How Remote Access Works. And so depending on how you learn, some people like to learn by just reading the instructions. Some people like to learn by visuals. So what we've done is we've provided a screencast, which is what the first option is here, and that will walk you through how to set up your remote access. And we also have a video tutorial on how to set up your remote access. So depending on how you'd like to learn how to set up your remote access, we've provided that for you. Again, under remote access instructions, we have the list, the instructions actually listed out, or you can use it visually under See How Remote Access Works. Now, as you're using this Libguide and you're using the links to get to, say, our subscribed databases, but you're not finding what you're looking for, we do have one more tab on this Libguide, which is fabulous. It's called the Open Access Resources tab. And what this does is it provides a list, and I'll again zoom in here so you can see this. It provides a list of open access resources. And so the librarians at Moon Library have worked together, and we've reviewed these resources. And these are free online resources that allow you to search for scholarly and peer-reviewed information, journal articles, all kinds of publications. So these are all free resources, and that's under Open Access Resources. So again, if you're not finding what you're looking for through our subscribed databases or through our subscribed journals, try the Open Access Resources. Again, they're free. You can use them anywhere you have the internet, and these have all been reviewed by the Moon librarians. Let me zoom back out here and take a look at the Libguide page again here. Now, we are constantly updating this Libguide. We're constantly adding new information under each tab. So you're going to want to revisit this page on a regular basis. Again, it's libguides.esf.edu/changes@Moon. And we also have a link to this right off the Moon Library homepage. We've covered a lot just talking about this Libguide. The Libguide is really your one place to go if you have any questions along the way about what's going on at the library, what's going on with our databases, our journals, how do I set up my remote access, and what's the timeline of this. And again, if you have any questions along the way while using the Libguide, there are links to the Moon Library staff and the computing staff. Let's go back to our PowerPoint for a brief moment here just to review some key points. Remember, again, before you start doing your research, you might want to take a look at the changes at Moon Library Libguide. Again, specially set up just to keep people informed of all of our changes going on. And again, there's lots of links there to get you to your databases, your open access resources, and any kind of setup that you need to do access to our resources. On the changes at Moon Library Libguide, use those tabs at the top to navigate through that Libguide. And keep revisiting this Libguide because we update it pretty much almost every day with new information. That's all for now. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you next time.